So we're entering the final days of summer and the countdown to the 2021 annual meeting is officially on. I'm so pleased to be able to introduce to you Brad Weber, who's joining us today in Inform's headquarters. He will be the host of the upcoming meeting, and he's here today to tell us a little bit about himself, his role as host, and how he'll be tying together the virtual and in-person experiences at the meeting. So Brad, so nice to have you here today.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for hosting. And I am so much looking forward to seeing all of you, not only on camera, but also live in Anaheim. Yes, live in Anaheim. I am ecstatic about this opportunity because, you know, we're connecting the world together like we've never have. And there's going to be so many of you out there that are going to be able to see this and experience this, you know, whether your schedule's allowed you to before or not. So I have a fun history with Informs. I used to be a long time ago in the meetings industry, and I worked for an organization that's one of your subdivisions called Intelligent Transportation Society of America. And they always talked about Informs and how you guys are such an amazing organization, and here I am right now with you. So I am so happy to be here.
So it's a little bit of a welcome home.
Yes, yes.
So Brad, why don't we start with having you tell all the attendees a little bit about yourself?
So I actually have been in the meetings and hospitality industry for about 35 years. I grew up in Illinois, went to the University of Illinois, and I have experienced so many different organizations and did a lot of media work and a lot of training in that regard as well. So a few years ago, I decided, why not get out there and start being an MC and a host and facilitating organizations on stage. And then this crazy pandemic happened, so I kind of ran around and figured out how to be my best self on Zoom and help others be on Zoom. So been having a great time. I live just outside Washington, D.C. in Silver Spring, Maryland. And again, I'm just thrilled to be here.
Wonderful. So Brad, as you've gotten to know a little bit more about Informs and our members and the community, what would you say has had sort of the biggest impact for you?
You know, I always try to make sure I dive in with organizations and really get to know the culture, and I have been completely blown away by the services you provide to your members. I have voraciously listened to the podcast, Resoundingly Human, the ORMS Today, the Analytics Magazine. You know, it's just, there's so many stories that you all have of the success of your attendees. So I think what's been really resonating with me is how exciting the work is that all of you do. I mean, the way you connect through research, analytics, data science, and all these other disciplines. I mean, your motto, you know, saving lives, saving money, and solving problems. I don't think there's anything that could be better for what we're all facing today in this world than what you're all doing.
So Brad, I heard you mention the podcast, Resoundingly Human.
Yes.
As the host, I have to ask, do you have a favorite episode?
You know, well, that's tough because they're all very good, and congratulations, they're very successful.
Thank you.
I see and have been on a lot of these, and these are really cool. You know, I think for me, maybe because of my past life in various organizations, you know, it's just making workforces more inclusive. I mean, it's been such a challenge for so long, and I think Dustin Cole just killed it with his on that, and as you're moving forward. But then you got Robert Handfield, too, about the whole Help Wanted. I mean, wow, what an issue. I mean, who would have thought that we'd be facing such a crisis of labor and labor shortage? So those two really resonated with me, particularly because of, you know, what I've done in my past lives.
So now, as we look ahead to the meeting in October, what would you like to highlight most for attendees, both virtual and in person, about this sort of unique format and what your role will be?
You know, it's what I love about what you all have done is that you have just hit this straight on and are like, you know what, I'm going to make sure that we touch everybody. So what a flexible meeting. I mean, people have the opportunity to come in virtually. They can be there live. There's this crossover where they can network together. You know, you're probably going to be attracting people that maybe could not come regardless whether or not we had a pandemic because of their schedules and that type of thing. So I think that's really important. But also, you're signaling something amazing. You're signaling the fact that an in-person event is happening. And I think all of us are so desperate for that and want that to happen. And, you know, so I think that's great. I also think, you know, basically I talked about Help Wanted earlier. Well, you guys have a career fair. I mean, that's amazing. So people can actually, you know, look at their next step or enter, you know, this amazing world of what you all do. The events, the networking aspect. Here's the thing. You've got networking that takes place in so many ways. You've got walking down the hall, grabbing that coffee. I keep hearing about this at reception. That's so amazing, But by the same token, there's going to be all these opportunities for networking virtually. Mm-hmm. I have seen so many amazing contacts happen through the chat, and where people are like, I've always wanted to talk to you. And you know what's crazy? Think about it. You're at a convention, and maybe there's somebody that you always wanted to meet or whatever, and you couldn't get to them because they're surrounded by people or whatever. You can go right up to them in the chat now and have a conversation. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a beauty to all this. So multi-access events right now I think are pretty cool. You guys also offer incredible amounts of tracks and sessions, which are thought-provoking plenaries, the keynotes. I think the key is going to be, taking it all in, but you know what? Here's the cool thing. You can go back later and watch some of those that you might have missed.
You can, yes.
Yeah, and so as far as my role, my role is, I think I have the coolest role. I feel like I'm the cruise director on land. You see me, something fun's getting ready to happen. Maybe we're going to go off and have, okay, we're heading off to reception, or we're taking a break, or this or that. So I love what I do. I have a blast. And by the way, here's the thing I want to mention. If you see me coming at you live, don't run from me. I want to catch up with you. I want to talk to you. I want to get your thoughts about, this organization and the experience, and also to my virtual friends. I want to find out where you're from. I want to talk to you there too. So I love it because I get to facilitate conversation both in person and have that interaction also digitally.
Mm-hmm. So as Brad mentioned, he will be on site in Anaheim for the meeting, but he'll also be interacting with everyone on the virtual platform. So Brad, can you tell us, what are you looking forward to the most?
I think there's a lot of different tracks, and I think just really seeing just the depth and breadth of how much education, and the fact that your members are so much of the content leaders for this. Returning to in-person activities. I mean, things like the new member breakfast, the awards ceremony, student awards ceremony, member meetings, and of course that reception. But also, again, is creating that bridge, making that bridge to help people, connect through the virtual world that we are now living in. There's some great pre-meetings as well, the colloquia and the technology showcases. My goal too is to really make sure I get around to all these amazing sponsors and exhibitors and see them and thank them, but then also make that connection back to the virtual audience. So I feel like I have a cool job where I get to be this kind of crazy orchestra leader, all over the globe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Brad, thank you so much for coming to Inform's headquarters to meet today. It's been so nice to meet face to face. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the Inform's community?
First of all, it has been really good to meet face to face. It's like, dude, you really are live. Yay. I think the key is get excited about this. The work you're all doing is unbelievable. How you all touch everyone. Look, I can't profess to know all that you do. I'm a layman compared to this, but I know that you touch my life every day by the incredible work you do through how you provide services and efficiencies and that type of thing. So that's really cool. As far as, for your attendees, I just want to make sure that you really take advantage of everything it has to offer. And just because, you're watching virtually doesn't mean you can't take advantage. You're going to have these amazing network opportunities. So just really get in there, get to know the platform. Make sure, I do encourage all the in-person attendees, go find a new friend this time. Walk around and say, I'm going to talk to somebody I haven't met before. So I just think, that now is the time to start your planning experience. Start looking online at how you want to schedule your day. It's a jam-packed day, but it's a fun day. So I'm thrilled. I'm just so excited, and I can't wait to meet all of you. Whether you're in person or not, I'm going to figure out a way to meet all of you. So look for the crazy guy. Again, I'm just thrilled to be part of this team.
Thank you so much, Brad.
My privilege.
And thank you everyone for tuning in to listen to us. Stay tuned for more updates in the future.